What's good, Nosebleed Nation? It's your boy, Coach Mike D. Yes, can Patrick Mahomes recapture the elite status that made him the pinnacle of the Kansas City Chiefs, taking him to 5 Super Bowls, winning 3? Can they recapture the elite status? Or have the Kansas City Chiefs reached their ceiling? We're going to answer all those questions today here on Nosebleed Nation. So make sure if you know a Kansas City Chief fan, or if you're a fan yourself, you comment it down below and let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe and share the channel if you're trying to go to something big here. So let's get started here with Nosebleed Nation. Can Patrick Mahomes get back to elite status? Here we go. All right, Nosebleed Nation. So you guys saw the thumbnail, and it's all about Patrick Mahomes and what's going on with the Chiefs. We know last year was a disappointing season for them. They went 6-11, one of the worst seasons right now the Chiefs have had, probably in the last 6 or 7 years. They've been elite of the elite, playing in 5 Super Bowls, winning 3. And Patrick Mahomes has been the epitome of the best quarterback in the National Football League, and that's without a doubt. But right now, a lot of people are questioning, have the Chiefs reached their ceiling? Have teams, figured out the Chiefs? Have the Chiefs have a personnel problem? And it's Patrick Mahomes' regression. He's going through a trying time right now after tearing his ACL and MCL last year at the end of the season, which derailed their season and makes them go 6-11. And of course, ultimately missing the playoffs. Of course, they speed tracked his rehab. He had surgery, and we don't know how that's going to look. We know that Andy Reid is a jack of all trades, and the last time Andy Reid missed the playoffs back-to-back was in 2011 and 2012 when he's with the Philadelphia Eagles. That was, of course, he went 8-8 in 2011 and went surprisingly 4-12 in 2012. So these are some things that people are talking about, and we're going to look at some numbers because right now, the numbers don't lie about maybe it's personnel that's happening, have teams caught up to them, but I think it's going to be something I have an opinion on about, and I think it's personnel. I'm going to call it the Tyreek Hill effect. Now, I know y'all going to say, well, Coach Mike D, what evidence do you have? Well, what I did was I looked back the last 6 years at their pinnacle of success when the Chiefs are at the pinnacle, going to Super Bowls back to back, going to the playoffs up to this point. So I went back from 2020 up to now. I went from 2020 up to now, and I looked at some statistics to help reiterate about the Tyreek Hill effect. Okay? So when we look at some of the things that I dug up, the first thing I want to look at is the Chiefs offense. Okay? How the offense look from 2020 up to 2025. Okay? So let's take a quick peek. This is like right at Patrick Mahomes' prime, because he's in his prime right now. But it's like when that offense was kicking and they had all the personnel, good offensive line, good receivers, and of course Andy Reid was in his bag. And also too, don't take into account that they had Eric Bieniemy, okay, and that's also a part of it too. So in 2020, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs went to the Super Bowl. They had the first ranked offense in the league at 415 points per game, per yards per game. So they were number one offense, clicking on all cylinders. In 2021, they were the third ranked offense. Now, that was expected. Teams kind of figured them out a little bit, but they still had the same personnel. They didn't lose anybody, okay? Still had the same personnel. They averaged 396 yards per game, which is good for number 3. 2022, first again, 413 yards per game. They won the Super Bowl. Now, this is the year that Tyreek Hill was traded. We all know that he was traded to the Miami Dolphins. They didn't want to pay him an extended contract. Tyreek Hill wanted $30 million a year, and the Chiefs were not willing to pay him. So Miami Dolphins were, and this is where, to me, everything changed. So immediately in 2023, the Chiefs' offense dropped to 9th at 351 yards per game. 9th. From 1st to 9th. Okay? Now, most people say, well, Mike, they're still a top 10 offense. Well, you're correct. But they also dropped in points. Their points dropped to 15th. They were first the year before. So on points, they dropped to the middle of the pack. Okay? No Tyreek Hill. Offense became a little bit of the middle of the pack offense. Now, they won the Super Bowl that year, but don't forget, the defense played lights out. They played lights out. They held them in a lot of games. They didn't lose a lot of games either. Okay? So they kind of helped them do that. Let's look at 2024. 2024, the offense was ranked 11th. 11th in the league now. So we're seeing the offense regress down. No Tyreek Hill. Okay? He's not there anymore. Offense is getting, instead of going back the other way, middle of the pack, down even further. 350 yards per game. In points, they lost to the Eagles. And we know what happened in embarrassment with the Eagles. Patrick Mahomes got sacked 6 times in that game. They even run the ball into the third quarter. It got that bad. But they still was able to reach the Super Bowl. And then next year, 2025, this is when all the stuff happened. They didn't make the playoffs. They finished 12th. Total offense and total points, they were 21st. Now, I'm going to give them a little bit of grace. Patrick was hurt. But as you can see, they were regressing. Okay? They are regressing. They're going back the other way. Personnel changes. And I'm going to get into the personnel changes so you can see that a little bit. Now, let's look at Patrick Mahomes' numbers. So you don't think that Mike just saying, oh, Michael, they number one offense. The offense going down. But, Patrick Mahomes still doing his thing. I don't think so. Let's look at the numbers. So, in 2020, Patrick Mahomes had a 66 completion percentage. Very good. He had 4,700 passing yards and 38 touchdowns with 6 interceptions. And also his QBR was 108. Pretty good, right? Okay. In 2021, 66 completion rate, had 4,800 yards. Yards went up. Okay. Tyreek Hill is still there. 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Quarterback rating was 98. No problem, right? 2022, this is the last Super Bowl they won with Tyreek Hill. His his completion percentage was 67. His total yards was 5,200. Lord have mercy. He threw 5,000 yards that year. This is the year he had his highest touchdown total. He threw 41 touchdowns that year. That was the best output of him, and he had a quarterback rating of 105. Historic numbers. Now, what happened once he left, once Tyreek Hill left? Well, in 2024 or 2023, still 4,100 yards, 27 touchdowns. He dropped from 38, 37, 41 to 27. No Tyreek Hill. Okay. He also had the most interceptions in this year at 14. And his passer rating dropped to 92. So from 108, 98 to 105 to 92. Okay. 2024. His passer completion percentage still good, 67. But his yards were now 39. As you can see, regressing. 26 touchdowns. His QBR is 93. 2025, saw the worst. 62 completion percentage, 3,500 yards total, 22 touchdowns, and a QBR quarterback rating of 89. 89. That's the lowest number he's had since his rookie year, which his rookie year he had a 76. So can we say, is it personnel? Was it the Tyreek Hill effect? Or people catching up to him? Well, we're starting to see things that looks like to me with the Tyreek Hill effect. Okay. Make that with personnel. Now, there's some other things that happened to the Chiefs as well. Offensive line changes. So you go back to 2022. Their offensive line had Orlando Brown, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Andrew Wiley. Very good offensive line. Okay. Now, that offensive line is now down to 2. The only 2 people that are left from that 2022 Super Bowl team is Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. Orlando Brown is now a Bengal. They didn't want to pay him. Joe Thuney is in Chicago. They didn't want to pay him. And Andrew Wiley is in with the Commanders. They didn't want to pay him. So they have a new offensive line. So they're like, Michael, what do you mean, Michael? How's it affecting? So, we all know that Patrick Mahomes is very mobile. Patrick Mahomes relies on that good offensive line, the staple that they brought, especially with Andy Reid's play call. Okay. Let's look at the sack numbers. So since 2023, since they left, Patrick Mahomes in 2023 had 32 sacks that year. He had 36 in 2024. And also he had 6 in the Super Bowl that year when the Eagles lamb blasted him. He had 6 in that game alone. And then in 2025, he had 34. So he's had 97 sacks in 3 years, which is 8th among quarterbacks. Out of 32 quarterbacks in the league, that's 8th. Okay? For a quarterback of his stature, that's too many. So personnel is a problem. He didn't have this problem early in those other earlier years because that line was solidified. He wasn't getting sacked that much. I think his high sack number was like 20. Now he's in the 30s. That's a big issue. Okay. Now, since 2020, I looked it up. He's had 173 sacks since 2020. Okay. Which is 12th among 32 quarterbacks. So he has high sack numbers because personnel has changed. No Tyreek Hill. He has to hold the ball. He's trying hard to do things. So, yeah, I mean, we can honestly say that the Tyreek Hill effect is in full blown. We can see that the Avalon not having Eric Bieniemy, the play caller, is also hurt the team. So personnel changes, coaching changes, these things have hurt Patrick Mahomes. Now we have this knee injury. Is it going to look the same? They're speed tracking him. We all know that once you have an injury of that nature, you get muscle atrophy, and mobility has been one of Patrick Mahomes' biggest things. And with this offensive line now, with some more changes, they lost a lot of personnel now. They're in a rebuild mode. They lost Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. Isaiah Pacheco's in Detroit now. Kareem Hunt's a free agent. They don't have Juju Smith-Schuster or Super Bowl Juju Smith-Schuster, who's now with the Giants. They don't have Trent McDuffie or Jalen Watson, their 2 starting corners, who are now with the Rams. They don't have Hollywood Brown. He's gone. They don't have Robert Tonyan. He's gone. He's with Pittsburgh. Then you have an aging Travis Kelce. So all these things are playing a part of have teams caught up to them, has age caught up to them, play calling, all these things that make a team great, trying to retool, but they're getting younger and inexperienced, and that's going to hurt them. That's why I say, hey, can they lift themselves out of the dirt? Can Patrick Mahomes get back to the elite level? You see, they brought back the offensive coordinator, the enemy, to try to bring back some stability. I think maybe Patrick requested that, maybe, or maybe Andy Reid wanted to get back to the staple, get back to the basics. Okay, what make them great. But as you can see, if you agree with me, that Tyreek Hill effect is what's going on. Personnel, yes, they have Rashee Rice, a dynamic wide receiver who's very fast, but he has off the field issues. He can't stay on the field. He comes back, he gets hurt because of conditioning problems. Then Xavier Worthy, he takes the top off. He does as much as he can do. He ain't Tyreek Hill. That guy was special. So I don't know. What is 2026 going to look like? You tell me, guys, in the comments. I just want to give you guys a quick synopsis of that. I thought it was a good a subject to look into. You look into the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes' return. He has been speed track. He is in camp. He is practicing at a limited capacity. But we don't know what the Chiefs are going to look like. We all know the NFL is better when the Chiefs are doing well. But those other 32 teams and AFC West is getting very stacked. I mean, the Denver Broncos are coming. The Chargers are retooling. They coming. Hey, don't leave out the Raiders. They're coming too. You got the Patriots, my Steelers. You got the Houston Texans. So the division's getting a lot harder. The Ravens. The Bengals are trying to be cool with Joe Burrow and getting their defense better. So it's getting harder and harder. Have we seen the ceiling with the Chiefs? Well, you guys tell me. In the comments are wide open, man. Nosebleed Nation want to hear from you. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share the content. We want to hear from you guys. We love you guys. Football season is here. If you wanted to hear anything else, please let us know. And remember, if anybody else told you that they love you, we do love you. And remember, we do this for the people that buy the tickets, buy the hot dogs, buy the hamburgers, take their kids, family event, free sporting events, to football. We will sit in the nosebleed section. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope your money's going good. Mine is, hey, I'm off work and I'm going to the motions. Look for some more content later. Remember, we got that next evaluation coming up with the NFC East, looking at that division to see who's going to get it. You guys have a wonderful day, and you guys be safe. Look forward to hearing from you later. Peace.